WayofTime here, bringing to you another episode of EEPower. So today we're going to hopefully automate our Fiendish bee process a bit better than before. Now, I did try as much as I could, but could not find any easy solution to my apiary problem. It's probably something to do with how they're actually working, or it just doesn't like the fact that this is a Mistcraft age, in which case it's probably royally screwed, but I guess I won't be able to worry about that. So what I'm going to have to do instead is something else. Instead of having the alvearies themselves heated up to the desired amount, I'm going to have to get the bees so that they can be tolerable in those extreme, for them, circumstances. So how are we going to do that? We are going to go back down and check one of our machines that we've had for quite a while. It is called the acclimatizer. Now, I'm feeding in ice to get this princess so that it's going to be a different temperature tolerance. So if we check with our beealyzer into slot 2, you can check the climate temperature tolerance, and it's normal for in both directions. So if we manage to sequence this particular part using the isolator, after we get enough bees to do so, we'll be able to get a lot of these things going on. So what I'm currently doing is having this ice fed into here. Hopefully we'll get this to both 4. The maximum you can go to is a both 5, though that isn't really necessary. If I can get this to both 4, we don't have to worry about isolating the both 4 genes here, but I guess it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to give it until the end of this few stacks, then I'm going to start breeding them together. Then we can work on some more fun stuff. Okay, now that we have them acclimatized, all we're going to need to do is bring them to this bee apparatus that we've already set up. Set it so that we have our 2 resilient bees and it's already powered on. And eventually we are going to get some excess drones. These excess drones we'll throw into the isolator until we manage to set it up so that we have all of the necessary, components. Let's go with the components, shall we? Yes, indeed. Indeed, indeed, indeed. You are very creepy there, Way. Now that we have many bees that will be able to be bred, let's just put this so that it can automatically be made. Since it's like the slowest productivity, I don't think we have to worry too much about combs spilling out everywhere. So these 3 should be enough to be able to get a good tolerance. After that, we'll clean up the strain and then add it to our Fiendish bees. That should... we can either go with the Fiendish bees or the demonic bees. Do we either want the ash or the glowstone? I'm thinking that the Fiendish bees are faster anyways, so I don't think it actually matters which one we do unless we have some good use for this ash. Let's see. You can use it with apatite instead of sand, which isn't really that useful. We can make carbon cells. We'll probably just store it once we get that. Ooh, that was quick. So we got that. Let's throw this into here and then synthesize it so that we get enough of the strain. So let's look over here. I made some minor modifications. I added a bunch of these magma crucibles to basically expound upon all of the thermal generators that we've managed to create thus far. If we take a little hop over here, we'll be able to see that is quite a few, and they're almost all the way full, so eventually they will start evening out, so to speak. They're at about 8 buckets each, except the top ones, which are just pro like that. And if I am correct, our matter fabricator should be going at a much better speed, always lit. That is good. So now we'll have a nice way to make all of the stuff that we need. Now, I'm thinking I'll create a bit more steel so that it'll be a bit, well, we're going to need more steel. Let's just say that. And then move on. There seems to be a backlog for some reason. What is caught? Okay, let's get our engineering caps, everybody. And then break stuff to heck. Oh, that might help. Creeper head. Nicolite. Nicolite was the issue. Is there anything else that's in the system? Are we stuck anywhere? It seems that we caught this at a good time, though it seems that we are a little ill-disposed on stuff. So let's get this out of the way. Get this out of the way. See what gets caught in here. Hopefully we'll have a bit more space. Nicolite and etc. is probably a little much. We got all the stuff over here, and most of the stuff and nickel is getting created. So what I think I'm going to do is quickly shut off the quarry, since otherwise this will probably spill again, and I don't want to basically have any sort of items flowing everywhere, like apples galore. Though if we started mining apples, I think I'd be a little worried at what, say for instance, Greg is adding to the system. You can no longer get your apples from trees, you have to mine them. Mwahahaha. Why is this always a different color every time I... Yeah, apparently stuff like that happens. And it's rather... Huh. Be right back. Okay, excellent quality. Hopefully it's not a bug, and the fact that it's attempting to refill it is just its, well, optimism that I am a total screw-up. Yeah, let's go with that. Yay, yeah, so... Now that we have this stuff, I think we're going to also want to add rock pollination, so we don't have to have any sort of nether wart nearby, near the, well, nether region. So let's wait for this to affirm that it has fully charged up and we are not in need of any sort of patronage. And then we can get going. By the way, if I sound like I'm clenching my teeth through pain, it probably means you are very observative. Yeah, let's go with that. So, it is at the maximum fertility, or rather, let's go onwards and throw this both for temperature tolerance serum and just shove it into these bees. Big needle, big fun. So while that's going, we'll get our rock pollination also going to the highest quality, and we have fast effect cancellation and maximum fertility also at its higher amount. Now this brazen species serum, I think I might use if I can't get the strain over there to full brazen, but good news though, my friend, we have got full lapis. So we're one step fuller. Yes, 2 more completion. I'm thinking we'll go for maybe 3 other princesses that are lapis quality so that we can get some stuff going. So, let's throw this in and then wait for this stuff to be done. We don't really need to wait for the rock pollination before we throw this stuff in, but it'd be nice to have. Ah, this is what we're looking for. We got some Fiendish going on, and this is a down 3 tolerance. I suppose that's nice, but if it can't go to both, there's no reason whatsoever, really, to have it. So what I'm thinking we'll do is just shove these Fiendish Princess and Drone combination into here. Should we move these blocks? Yeah, let's move them so that they are the regular alveoli blocks, and we can save the heater blocks for another time. And we're also going to need to create some more royal jelly because we are out over here and we need a few more parts to get everything going. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, thank you. And we'll just recombine them into the alveoli and then get things going. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a very fast speed. In fact, I'm pretty much counting on it. Now, what we could do for now is actually take this frame thing, so the frame housing, throw it in here instead so we are able to put some sort of frame in here. Now we need to wait for it to actually be correct. We got the nether wart, and let's throw our Fiendish, princess, and drone into here and see how long it actually lasts. Hostile environment? Hostile environment? Come on, it says... Ah. Damn. Sorry, did I swear? Arid. Arid. That's the problem. So it's still a hostile environment because we didn't change the humidity tolerance as well. That is a pain in the keister, so we're going to need to throw this back in the nether, unfortunately, and then wait for another thing, or rather another generation, because currently, since this is in the not so fun generation, my generation, we are going to have to wait for the stuff to die off, because I'm not sure if you happen to know this, but if one were to actually take the generation, or rather take the queen and try to inject it, rather inoculate it with the genes that you're trying to put to the offspring, it will not work, since once you make the queen, the data is set. Or as some people like to say, the die is cast, and therefore you're not able to change any of the aspects of the bees that end up coming out of its nether regions. Ha ha! So what I'm thinking we're going to do, since we have a bit of time before that bee with, I think it's a long life. No, it must be a normal life. Yes, anyways, with that bee that is going to remain nameless, we should set up our alveoli so that it'll be able to basically take all of the stuff that we want and put it to good use. So what are some of the things that we're going to need to change our phosphor into awesomeness? To do so, we'll need to take our squeezer and centrifuge and put them correctly. Now, to get that, we're going to need to access the energy network that is latently in this. So just simply grabbing our conduits over here, let's just bring them up, and we'll be able to connect these to the machines that will have that'll go here. So first of all, the centrifuge. The centrifuge is going to need to take the simmering combs and basically, well, centrifuge it so that we get the phosphor and the other bee products. So if we check quickly what our simmering combs do, not that, thank you, we got refractory wax, which we'll need to find a place to put in the stuff into, and we have phosphor. So a quick thing we can do is just simply get an autarkic gate. There, I said it, happy. An autarkic gate, and get all of that stuff out of there. That should be the simplest method to get all that fun stuff. Now, what I'm thinking also is we do have a sorter already, so maybe we can sort this stuff. So maybe put a sorter on the alveoli and route the princesses, the drones, and then all the byproducts out. Maybe if we can put that there and have colored tubes going to the other locations, we should be in good shape. Though that might be for the other parts of the process. So let's just put this here to show that we're going to put that there. And then I think let's just quickly add in a bit of a back door, so to speak, so that we'll be able to access this area quickly enough. Let's take some of our wood. We're going to need to find some more wood pipes, aren't we? To the data bank! Okay, I got a few necessary evils that will kind of be necessary, funnily enough, so that we'll have all of this relatively automated. So let's get some of our useless stuff out. So first of all, wooden transport pipe to get all of the goodies out. And that will be a simple when that's off, this is on. That's good. And what I'm thinking we'll do is send it directly to a relay, like so. and this will then output into the correct areas. Now, maybe a relay right off the bat isn't a good idea. Then again, it will probably be the best. Also, a filter. If we have a relay and a filter so that the squeezer gets squeezed, it should be good enough. So let's grab 3 more conduits. I think we'll have enough for that. 1, 2, 3. That will be connected. We'll get energy there as well. We'll probably need a cover, and we'll also need a simple filter right there. And a cover. Because, did I say cover? Yes, we'll need a cover. And then we're going to need to pull the stuff out of here. So this is where it's going to get fun. Let's see, what does our squeezer need to make lava from the phosphor? So lava, it is made from using netherrack, but we can use the squeezer, and the only byproduct is lava. So we can either use cobblestone or we can use sand for our lava production. I'm thinking we'll produce so much phosphor, I don't think it'll be necessary for anything else. So just having a quick thing like that will be good. So the output will be going through here through liquid ducts, I think. So just simply going down. Now, how will be the best way to route this? We'll need to have lava going over here, and maybe go to the main drag that will be over here. So if we bring it down way over here, and then just go like such, I'll just dig a channel quickly, and then hopefully we don't cut into any of our power supplies, because yeah, having our base run out of power might not be a good idea, nor our drill running out of power, because yeah, hey, that's a possibility too. Okay, so cutting over, we're into the lava supply, so let's get ourselves out of there. And we got a few odds and ends that will probably prove useful. There are our covers, but we got a bunch of general uselessness. That is just, well, generally floating around. So what is the best way to leave this area? Probably this way will be the safest. And then we'll just cut ourselves out and get everything working. So here we go. Let's get this right here. And thankfully we do have a filter, so we can put the filter on. So this filter, it's not just going to be for phosphor, since we are going to need to get that eventually anyways, but let's just get this going first. So we'll have to have that. Obviously nothing will work, so let's just take that out of here. And we're also going to need to add another stone cover here quickly, because that won't work either. So here we got the phosphor and the refractory wax. Phosphor is going to be one of the filter items, but we'll also want cobblestone. Now the thing is, that is a bit of a problem. Filter might not be what we are looking for. We're going to want to have phosphor, sure, that's going to be one of the main things. But if we have too much phosphor, or rather too little phosphor, or none at all, cobblestone might basically clog up the entire system, which is not something that I am willing to work with. So let's see, we are going to need instead to actually use a regulator. It's going to be an analog one instead of a digital, because normally, hey, it's what we need. So this regulator will basically regulate what's inside here instead of just the simple you can only allow this or this. Pretty much I'm explaining this horribly, so let's go with an example. Say we have oak and sandstone that need to be mixed together in a squeezer for some bizarre reason, and it requires at least one of each to work. So what would happen if I have all oak in? Nothing will work. And we need at least one slot free for the sandstone. So what we're going to do instead, if we look at the regulator, it's going to regulate what's inside here. So only a certain amount of each and everything is going to go into here. So that is going to require a bit of complex thinking. We're going to need at least some phosphor, and I'm going to have to pretty much relearn what these are to better understand it. Now, manager might be a better way to do this so that we only have a certain amount of things in here. In fact, probably manager might be the best way to go about this because otherwise it's going to be a little annoying to get everything going. That might be it. So yeah, I'll take the regulator and maybe put it with a manager instead. We do have a line of energy for the BC energy, not the BC, the bluetricity energy. So I think I'll just cut into this and allow a manager to go in instead. And thankfully we do have the required stuff for that. So let me quickly get that, and then we should be set. After I cannibalize my wall, of course, because heck, what wouldn't be industrial without some cannibalization? Nothing whatsoever. Okay, so I got an igneous extruder, thankfully. We'll set this to cobblestone, and I am hoping this works because I heard someone said it'd work. Right click, right click. Yes, it works. Okay, thankfully that does work, and things won't start spilling. So let's get our relay going, and this will pump out the cobblestone to the correct side as soon as I get it to the correct side. Let's not hook it up yet because that would be rather unfortunate. So we want exactly 4 cobblestone to be in here and 2 phosphor at a given time. That will help not limit anything. And let's see what happens if we do this and set this to be an allowable side for exit. We'll get our 4 cobblestone going into the wrong slot, of course, because heck, why not? It's not like we are annoyed at having to cannibalize all the stuff that we know and love. No, not at all. Not at all. Can you please work? Okay. Let's see. Let's see if cobblestone actually works in this slot instead. Hopefully it does. If we put another one in and it gets ejected. Okay, so this slot is where it needs to be instead. So we need to put this out of its misery. That's going to be annoying. We're going to need to reroute some of the things in the future, but I think this will be fine for now. Infinite loop, anyone? Yes, because I know you love infinite loops. Hey, I heard you like infinite loops, therefore we put the loop in the infinite in the infinite. I have no clue what that was, but apparently it might have been a meme. I'm not sure if you know what those are called, so let's just go onwards and hopefully nothing bad happens. So let's do a bit of a stress test. If we take out 4 cobblestone from this, where does it go first? That's jammed up. So does it go to the other one? No, it does not. So thankfully, if we do put the phosphor in, it should be okay. Now we need a route for our refractory wax to take, and only refractory wax. So let's take refractory wax and put it in a barrel for now. That might be what we need to do. So say a barrel is there, we'll need to have our filter out the refractory wax so the stuff will be able to go there. Let's screw this in, and we'll just need to have this going like that, and probably this not going up. Babe. Did I say you could do that? No, I did not. I don't see your name on. Let there be yoke. Yoke's on you, buddy. Yoke's on you. Okay, so we got that. We just need to have an input for this. So if we put our simmering combs in, it will start working. Let's not put that in yet because we're still going to need to account for the refractory wax. Let's get our thing. I think I had a few spare barrels somewhere. So I managed to misplace a lot of my apiarist pipes, so we're going to have to worry about that at a later time. But let's get our barrel down for the refractory wax. This stuff seems like it's well managed right now, so the only thing we're really going to need to do is make sure that there's a redstone signal. No, it should automatically output the stuff from the squeezer, so let's hook this up now. So EEPower's pipe there will have a relay, which is going to be oriented in the correct way naturally. And there we go. And have this hooked up quickly. Have these parts hooked up. And there we go. So set this up so that any B, or rather that is not where that goes, funnily enough. Apparently I am failing in epic proportions. So there we go, energy, pulsar, and the only thing that we're going to really need to worry about is when this overflows with any Bs. You can probably put some sort of output to quickly stop that, but also another thing we're going to have to worry about is ash. So eventually we'll put a filter that'll take the ash and bees to another line. But for now, let's just throw our simmering combs in and wait for the refractory wax that is bound to come out. So refractory wax went in and it is stuck, so we're going to need to wait for our next refractory bundle right here. So then set this to allow refractory wax, and then it'll get pushed out. The phosphor will go into here, and of course some of it will stop because it can only do so much. But this squeezer is going pretty quickly, so what I think we'll do is go down and temporarily unhook up our powered area. So we can see how quickly this stuff fills up in lava. We might need this as a supplementary area, but I think we can focus on that at a later time. So 5 conduits, and actually we're going to need to get that. You know what we could have done instead is we'll leave the rest of that going and drop our wrench. There we go. Put those back there, and this will stay disconnected because that makes things a lot more easy. And all that's good, so let's jump over there. And we can see that this is going at a good pace. So we got a bunch of lava. There's no inventory space because all this lava is getting jettisoned. Now what I think we'll need to do is, since that's not actually full, I don't think it automatically outputs, therefore we're going to need one of our friends to help out. See? There we go. And all of this will allow us to keep things going relatively smoothly, but the phosphor backs up into there. Though seeing as the phosphor is going to always be the limiting reagent, seeing as this takes more time than, or rather less time than 1.5 seconds, all that we have to see is how fast the bees go. So let's get those bees in and then talk about how we're going to be able to change the system in the future. Okay, so here we go. We should be ready. Let's see if these arid will be able to work a bit better than the ones previously. Fingers crossed, guys, and it seems like our Fiendish Queen is working in the alveary. Now, I'm not too sure exactly how fast this will be for the combs. One way we can do is probably through a speed trial method by just taking that off and figuring out how long it takes for a comb to come. Now, I think if I remember from the B database that said something for the regular Fiendish ones that don't have the fast worker, it's like once every 52 seconds or something. I'm not too sure. We already got a simmering comb, so that's quick. Judging by, well, it's the fact that it's an alveary instead of the other one. So maybe if we put something into the frame housing instead, we'll get it at a bit quicker of a rate. Now, the only frames we have right now are the soul frames. Proven frames do cost emeralds, so I'm a little leery on actually using those, though we should have some of those sticks somewhere. I'm not too sure, actually. Let's just wait for this, and if we got another already, we already got another, so this is going at a very remarkable pace. Now, obviously, the stuff's going to come out, and That I cannot believe I didn't see coming. So now the stuff will go in the accurate area. But we are going to have to set it so that the other stuff, so that might be an easy way. If we move one of these to here, we can move this and put a barrel down. And for this barrel, we're not going to put that, but instead we'll put ashes. So all the ashes will automatically go to this barrel. And the bees, well, the bees are going to want to go into the barrel first. But what we can do is probably have another barrel up here for the bees. That said, it is going to be a bit longer of an area, so that might not be the best way for it to go. Let's see, 1, 2 for that to go, 1, 2, 3 for that to go. So if we were to put it in some other way, such as putting a restriction pipe there, that would be, be the best way to do things. So restriction pipe and then putting that. So the worst possible thing to happen would be that this gets backlogged, but by that time there should be an extra bee in there, no pun intended, for stuff to go through. So let me quickly get the iron bar required for that, and then we can wrap things up here. So here's our restriction tube. We'll just quickly place it into there. So all the stuff is going to go. We got quite a few combs already. And we'll have to do a bit of testing to see how well that works. And probably something that I'd like to do is get sand to go into here instead. Because if we have sand, it'll work a lot better. Now this is getting backed up somehow, probably just through the fact that it's requesting phosphor, but let's see. There, it's backed up with something, judging by the fact that it's sending out a redstone signal. I'm not too sure what the reason is, but whatever. So let's just quickly put those there, and this... Wow. That was well planned, Way. Well planned. So as soon as the bees get out of there, we'll be able to remedy this situation a lot better. Thankfully, bees are now able to stack inside of barrels because of how they've been reprogrammed, as you saw with some of the bees that I had stuck in a barrel over there. We'll probably maybe get a bunch more alveoli set up once we have a better bee line. When we get a bunch of bees, we'll be able to breed in a bunch of fiendish ones and hopefully get everything at a much quicker pace. So also another thing I'd love to have are frame housings. That'll be fun. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of EEPower. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to future episodes. I'm gonna need some smooth stone. WayofTime here, signing off. Have a wonderful day.